Hey guys, I'm here. Welcome to the live stream. Just making sure everything's good to go. Gonna get it set up on my computer so we're ready. Make sure the camera's in place and everything. There it is. So let's get that going. Oh, it changed my thumbnail. Oh well, hey guys, so say hi in the chat for me. Let me know where you're from while I get this all set up. We'll begin in like 30 seconds. Give me 1 second here while the computer... Hello, what's up Kobe? What's up Bella? CJ? Who else we got? We got Ramzan from Denmark. We got Florida. We got Burundi. We got England. Hello, hello. We got Algeria. What's up, Kristen? Not much. Looking forward to the live stream. Pogba Boom. I don't think that's your real name, but he's here from Ghana. Is that what it said? Ghana? Two Guns Boxing. What's up, man? I think you were the one who asked me about coaching for your kid, getting him one-on-one training and getting him doing futsal. So I hope that's going well for you so far. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. We're about to get started. As usual, I have your questions that you asked me on Instagram. I have about 5 or 6 to get through, and then we're going to move on to your questions in the comments here. So usually we go on for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes. You know, sometimes we'll go a little longer. It really depends how much in flow we are in. Again, we got Wales, Nevada, Texas, Nevada, then Texas. All right, awesome, guys. I love your videos. I've improved. Thank you, Roger. Thanks for watching. We got Ireland, Portugal. All right, let's get this started. First and foremost, guys, just a couple of announcements. I actually released a free ebook today. If you're on my email list, you've already gotten it. If you're on my email list and you haven't gotten it, let me know by emailing me or contacting me. Not in here because I can't do anything about it right now. But make sure you're checking your folders to see if you got it. And if you would like it, you just have to go to simplysoccerpro.com. Click free, it says like download here or something. Click on that, go through the whole thing. You'll get the free ebook. It's called Game Changer. And I really hope it's going to be great for you and you're going to learn a lot from it. So that's just my little announcement. And let's get right on into this. We got Pakistan as well. More England, the Geordie Gamer. How you doing, mate? Let's go into _Jamal251. How do I stay consistent when dribbling and how to prepare for a tryout? So this is going to be a pretty quick question. To prepare for a tryout, I actually have a video going over how to stand out at soccer tryouts. Now I have a few videos on the topic. Watch the newest one because that has the more up-to-date, relevant information, but go ahead and watch that. And when staying consistent, I'm assuming you're saying stay consistent with your practicing. When dribbling, I mean, just stick at it. Just do it. If you have to do a little bit each day, that's fine. Don't try and bite off more you can chew by doing like an hour or 2 hours of dribbling training every single day because you're going to become overwhelmed. Start small, then move up as you get better, and then do more and more. It's just about consistency. It's about the little bit you do each day. You're not going to do it all at once. Just remember that those days stack up as long as you maintain consistency. Oh, and one more thing. My dog is going to bark in a few minutes because there's going to be food at the door. So if you hear a dog barking, that's why. So just getting that out of the way. So we got through one question. There's a bug. Okay, the live bug. Not sure what that is. Okay, so here we go. Next one is EVKev20, and he asks, or she asks, I don't know, how can I get better at close-up finishing? Like when a teammate passes to me when I'm in the box, I always miss the ball. How can I get better at timing the shot and getting it in the back of the net? So this is a big one because I'm assuming you're talking about like someone fizzes the cross in and it's like 6 or 8 yards out and you're trying to knock it in. The first thing to recognize with a shot this close to goal is contact is so key. You do not need to put power on it. The power is already there and you just need to pass it essentially into the net. One of the biggest things when we panic when we're in front of goal or we're close to goal or we have a goal scoring opportunity, our first instinct is to just hit it as hard as we can or swing at it wildly. You just need to relax, keep your composure, recognize that you can do it, and then just focus on that contact. Because when you're 6, 8 yards out from goal, either side of the keeper about at any pace at that point is going to result in a goal. Now, if you want to practice this, one of the best ways is to get a friend and have them continuously hit balls into that area and you practice getting good contact, knocking it into the net. It does not need to be, complicated. You don't need any complicated type finish. You just need to get good contact on it and put it on target from there, and you will score most of the time. Once you get really good at that, you can work on really putting it into the corners. But when you're like 6 or 8 yards out, you really don't need to worry too much about putting it into the corners. You just need to get good contact on it. And you can see this all the time in the professional game when a ball is fizzed in and a player will just get good contact on it. Sometimes they'll even go close to the keeper, but because they got the contact on it and because they're so close to goal, they'll score most of the time. So that's about it for that. So what I would do if I were you is seriously just get a friend, get a bunch of balls. If you can't do that, work with what you have and just have them cross the ball in over and over and over again and just practice getting that contact on it until you're very comfortable doing it, because then when you find yourself in a match situation with that happening, you'll be much more confident that you're going to put it away. Okay, so next one is I can never pronounce these. IMAC_SH_801 asks, I always hesitate on a 1v1 when the defender is steady. What should I do? Okay, actually very simple. I have a video again that will help you with this. I have a video called The Mental Side of 1v1. Just like when it comes with goal scoring or putting the ball in the back of the net or being composed in front of net, when we freeze up, when we go to take someone one-on-one, or when we mess up, a lot of it usually has to do with us panicking. It's not that you can't do it, it's that you usually get up in your head. So I made a video basically to address this issue and how to get better at it. So look it up. It's called The Mental Side of 1v1. If you go on the home page of the channel, it's on the home page somewhere under skill moves or something. Take a look at that video and practice what I go over in that video, and you'll find that if you practice that enough, you'll start being a lot more comfortable 1v1 when you're going 1v1 on people. Okay, so let's see what else. So we're going to go through these questions pretty quickly as well, and then we're going to get to your questions in there. So the Football for Insta asks how to remember the things you analyzed from both your matches and practices, I'm assuming. So how to implement these analyzed aspects you learn from watching pros into your games and practices. Okay, so the easiest thing to do to make sure you don't forget because I get what you're saying. So like you can analyze your match like after the game and then you'll forget what you analyzed. So there's 2 ways I would recommend doing this. The easiest way is simply to journal it. So after your game, you'll write down and you'll ask certain questions. You'll ask things like, what did I do well? What did I not do well? What can I learn from that performance? What do I need to work on? And just write it out so you know where you stand. And you can compare it to other games you analyzed. Now, you also asked about professional games. So same thing. If you're watching a pro match, you can take a look at it and go, one of the best ways is to kind of assume what the person's going to do. Like in a situation, try and guess what they're going to do. And if it's against what you've guessed, ask yourself why they did that. You always want to be asking when a pro makes a mistake as well, what happened? What could they have done instead of that to avoid that mistake? If something works, ask yourself, why did that work? And you can write these things down if you want. Another thing you can do, other things you can do, you can record yourself going over it. So that if you don't want to write it down and that works better for you, you can record audio. Like you can have like an audio log where you go over the game that you were in or the game that you're analyzing, the mistakes and everything that you can listen to later to remind yourself. There's many ways to do it. So the biggest thing is either write it down or record it so you have something to refer to, because if you just try and remember it, you will pick up patterns eventually. But it's just a lot easier if you take whatever you're thinking, write it down, and record it for future use. Then when you need to, actually see what you need to practice on, you can go, okay, well, I have this written down about this game. I made the same mistake in this game, and I was analyzing this pro match, and this pro was in a similar situation, and he did this instead. Let me practice doing that, if that makes sense. So you analyze it, see where your common mistakes are, like the mistakes you're making the most, the things you're doing well, and you implement that into your training routine, okay? So let's see. 2 more questions from Darren Soccer 11. Here's a good one. Do you limit your sugar intake? If yes, do you consider fruit your daily sugar intake? So here's the important thing to recognize when it comes to sugar. Your body does need it, but it needs a certain kind of sugar. The sugar you're getting from candy and sweets, that's not that's different kind of sugar. The sugar you get, and the natural sugar you get from things like fruit, you actually get it from vegetables as well. Your body, I think, I don't know I'm not a nutritionist, so I'm not going to explain this like properly. You can do your own individual research on this, but when your body breaks it down, it turns it into the sugars that it needs. I think this is similar to fruits. It's a different type of sugar, the type that your body needs. Don't fool yourself and think that if you're eating a candy bar because you need to get 20 grams of sugar or whatever the daily intake is, that's the right kind of sugar. It's not. That's processed sugar. It's gone through a process that's not good for your body. That's not the kind of sugar you need. The kind of sugar you need comes from those natural foods, from the fruits, from the vegetables. And if you're not getting sugar from those sources, you need to start, introducing those into your diet. Again, I'm not a nutritionist. Make sure you do your own research on this. All I know is, no, I don't. I try and limit my sugar intake as much as possible. Again, I'm not perfect. I'll have like the odd bad thing, I guess, whatever you want to label it as. But if I'm like deliberately measuring my sugar intake, I want to get it ideally from things like vegetables, from things like fruits, natural things, not packaged things. That's the best way to look at it. Don't get it from packaged items. Get it from natural stuff, okay? Let's get into the next one. Joel, ITL, I don't know what that, okay. Oh, that's okay, that's why it is. So Joel Lit, I try to play every day of the week, only missing 1 to 2 days. However, when I come back from my rest day, I feel like my touch is off and I have to take a day of rest, or I have to take a day to get back. How can I make sure that my touch doesn't suddenly decline after a rest day or get it to come back quicker? And by touch, I mean ball, feeling, juggling, dribbling. So essentially what he's saying is the question, how to maintain consistency on rest days, because I guess like on a lot of rest days, you're not going to be getting as many touches on the ball and all that. First thing is you have to look at your rest days as a part of your routine. Rest days are not, it's not like practice and rest days are separate. It's all a part of the same. A rest day to me is the same as training because you need those rest days. Like your rest is as important as your practices because if you don't recover properly, you're going to be more susceptible to injuries. You're not going to be at 100% when you actually are training intensely. So first and foremost, don't separate rest from like practice and think they're not a part of the same thing. The goal of both of them is to get you, in better shape, to get your body healthier. They're not separated. They're all trying to accomplish the same thing. Next, just because it's a rest day doesn't mean you can't get touches on the ball. It just means don't do anything intense. Like there are people who recommend even on rest days to go for a light jog to get the blood pumping because that aids in recovery. So you can do a bit of ball work, just don't do anything crazy. So if like you're saying that you think your touch is taking a decline on those rest days, do a bit of juggling on that day, do a bit of wall drills, nothing that would tire you out, nothing that would exhaust you. Do like 10 minutes of very light ball work if you want to do that. Alternatively, you can just have a full rest day where you don't do much. I mean, that's absolutely okay as well. But if you really feel that it's affecting your touch or your consistency, really just make sure you're doing like a little bit of juggling or a little bit of ball work. There's no harm in doing that. It's just you don't want to do anything that's going to tire your body out because that goes against the point of resting in the first place, if that makes sense. So really low intensity work on those rest days is fine. Just don't do anything that's going to tire you out, tire your muscles. Don't do anything that's going to build up lactic acid either. You don't want that either. So that's essentially what you want to do when it comes to that. Okay, so that's actually the last question from there. So go ahead and ask me some questions in there. Of course, the chat is scrolling for me, even though it looks like it just froze. Oh, no, there we go. So at SimplySoccer with the question. So we got Two Comes Boxing saying, to what extent can NLP and other self-development techniques improve your soccer? So NLP, I've heard of that before. Oh my God, it's neuro-linguistic. No, that's not it. Something patterns. I don't know enough about NLP to give you any direct advice on that, but self-development I found is incredibly important, not just for football, but for anything really. I mean, when you think of just what self-development means, it means you're evolving, it means you're becoming more, and I found that through self-development I've become more motivated, more confident, I've developed strategies that have helped me stick to my training. It all comes together, like it's not like you can be, like it's hard to be an incredibly good soccer player if other areas of your life are like in chaos, if that makes sense. So the more self-development you do, the more like you work on yourself, the more confident you become, the more self-sustaining, if that's the right word to use, you become, or the more self-reliant you become, the better, because that's going to seep into your soccer training. You'll get better at like scheduling, you'll be better when it comes to accountability. It's just a good thing to develop. So I definitely recommend doing some self-development personally, outside of soccer, along with soccer, because it all comes back and affects it all affects your life in some way. And the last thing you want is like something troubling you in one area affecting your soccer, or vice versa. So I would definitely do stuff like that. So JSM Lads says, what goals to set in order to build the wall to become pro? So I'm guessing you're saying the foundation. Well, the goals you set are going to be, oh, whoa, did someone just super chat me? All right, well, okay, whoever just super chatted me, I'm going to answer your question right after JSM. So if you super chat me, I'm answering your question. Thanks so much, man. That's awesome. Thank you. That's incredible. But first, JSM Lads, what goals to set? The goals are going to be up to you depending on your level. Watch the video, How to Become a Standout Soccer Player, because that is going to allow you to set goals. It's going to reveal a lot to you on what you need to do. If you've already watched it, watch it again or review your notes, because that's going to give you an idea of what goals to set. They're going to be different for everyone. So I'm gonna answer this question from Michael. Michael, so much. Thank you so much, man. That's awesome. So what is the best advice you would give a high schooler who is extremely passionate about soccer and has the summer to look forward to? Okay, man, that's good question. So it's a bit of a broad question, but if you're extremely passionate about it, if you really want to get better, don't leave any stone unturned and be very disciplined this summer, because especially when I was in high school, we had some years a pretty decent team, some years not, but it was so obvious the players that were really cared about getting better, really worked over the summer to get better, because we get into this like vacation mindset over the summer. So make sure you're not falling into that. Make sure you have your priorities straight. If your goal is to become, I don't know, like you're going for varsity, I'm assuming, if your goal is to get onto varsity to become a standout player, really make sure, if your high school coach, for example, sends you out a summer packet, really dedicate yourself to getting that done. Make it a priority, because in the summer there's a lot of distractions that can take you away from becoming a better player. There are a lot of things, maybe it's certain friends want to hang out all the time, which is fine, I'm not saying don't do that. Maybe there's a lot like vacation or something, discipline yourself, have a schedule you're going to follow, have a system you're going to follow for the summer. Because 3 months, man, a lot can happen in 3 months. You could be a player who is on your high school, isn't really playing. You spend those 3 months getting better. You spend those 3 months really working on yourself, really getting in shape. Getting in shape is going to be important too during that summer period. You come into preseason like in fantastic shape. You're going to be not head and shoulders, but you're going to be ahead of the game, because usually you have a preseason to do that. But get really work this summer. Avoid distractions. Prioritize getting better at soccer. Watch these videos. Have a plan. Have a way to get better. Watch the video, How to Become a Standout Player. If you have the money, sign up for a course. This is the biggest thing. For any of you that have money to spend and you want to spend money on becoming a better player, there are people like Become Elite that have programs, like Progressive Soccer. There's the Train Effective. Like, there are these programs with proven systems, and all you have to do is follow the system and make sure you put in the effort. That is if you have the money to do so, that is my biggest piece of advice for you. Find a proven system, and you have 3 months to work with, so you have the time. Find a proven system and put your all into that system, right? Follow the system. So you can look around to see which system best suits you, but again, I'll give you those suggestions. Become Elite, Progressive Soccer, Train Effective, they all have programs, and there's some more, just Google them and look them up. But this summer, get yourself in one of those programs, follow them, because I've seen some of the testimonials for some of those programs, and there are players who come in who are like, dude, I did your program, it's fantastic. So take a look at those programs and select one if you can, and if not, you can still find like free programs or workouts. Keep challenging yourself, keep moving forward. But that's what I would do this summer, man, if since you have 3 months to work with. And again, the level you're at now to what you can be in 3 months from now, can be huge if you put in the work, you discipline yourself, you dedicate yourself to getting better. And again, to really fast track that, get yourself in a proven system from one of those guys, okay? So what happened to my, oh, that's why. Okay, let's scroll back down. So thank you for that, Michael, by the way, for the super chat. Okay, I'm going back down. I got to go back down to your questions. And now there's something wrong with my scroll. Okay, here we go. So let's see. Okay, here's a question. So from Leo Rio 098, what should be more focused on for preseason technique or physical? So for preseason, there's actually different phases of working out and training you want to do. There's an off season, which will be for like if we're going to use high school again, for example, it's after the high school season. A lot of like early summer. Then there's preseason, where it's going to be some of the most intense training that you're going to be doing. Later preseason, which is going to be, again, pretty intense, but you're going to start getting more into like game-like stuff. Then there's the in-season, where you're actually not going to be doing as intense stuff. You're going to be doing less intense stuff because you have matches and you don't want to tire yourself out. So for preseason, you want it to be fairly heavy. So what I want you to do is you Google preseason workouts for soccer players, or again, like the advice I gave Michael, find a system, because there are programs out there, again, that give you workouts and systems to follow for the summer, for preseason. And if you follow those systems, then it's just about putting in the work. All the info's put there and organized for you. It's absolutely fantastic. It's all right there, and you just have to follow through with it. You just have to put in the work from there. So for preseason, it's going to be a little more intense because you're preparing for the season. But definitely, again, find a program, find a system, and follow that system. That's the best thing you can possibly do. And of course, you can adjust and you can go from there. Like you can tweak it, adjust it for your needs. But I've always found that's the best thing to do, is have a system. Like when I was in college, our college coach used to send us out a summer workout packet. Even when we weren't at the college, we were back home for a summer, but he sent out these packets, and it was usually obvious if someone did it or not. And it'll be the same for when you're going into your college, your high school. You'll be able to identify the players that trained and worked and the players who didn't. Be one of the players that trained and worked, because if you notice it, guess who else is going to notice it? The coaches. They'll pick up on it as well. Okay, so let's see here. I have a tendency to shoot from the Goku Spiritor. I have a tendency to shoot with my left foot and cross more with my left foot. What does that mean? I don't. What do you? Are you left-footed? I don't know. If you're left-footed, that's why. If not, I mean, go with it, man. If you can shoot better with your left and you're a righty, nothing wrong with that. That's actually a pretty cool advantage. So from Sarvine, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing. Do I have an email? If you're asking about the free ebook, just go to SimplySoccerPro.com. If you click on the download this thing, or download now, or whatever it is, it'll let you sign up for my email list, and then you'll have my email. If you just want to send me a message and you don't want a free ebook or free training course, it's simplysoccer08@gmail.com if you just have a question. Okay. Well, ask me again, man, because it's scrolling pretty quickly. I can try and find it. Okay, never mind, I just found it. So Alfie315, I'm 15. Cool. And I've never played football. I've been told I have the ability to play and have been offered to play for a team as a CAM. What are the main things I should work on over the summer? So I'll give you the same advice I gave Michael, man. You know, the best thing to do is find a system that you can follow. Now, if you're brand new, I'm thinking what the best course of action would be. Obviously, you want to start a little small, but there are programs for beginners too. Like if you can find a system that you're comfortable with, if you can find a program, like if you can buy it, or you can have ask your parents to buy it, that's going to help you improve the most, because there are coaches out there who've been coaching for a while who know what works and they know what doesn't work, which means they're eliminating the trial and error that you would have to go through and saving you time. So again, find a program, and dude, go for the team. Seriously, go for it. If you want to play and someone's like, dude, you should play on this team, do it. You have nothing to lose, and you might absolutely love it. So definitely go for it, but look out for, try and find, again, Become Elite, take a look at his stuff. I think he's got quite a few programs. Train Effective. My friends at Train Effective I've never been in it, but they have a lot of great reviews for their program. And Progressive Soccer, I know, has a bunch of programs too, and I've heard really great things about those. So there's 3 to check out, and they each, I think, have multiple programs. So check those out. So here we go. The Geordie Gamer. So I'm assuming you're in Newcastle. Hi, I have trials on Monday for Blackburn, and I'm probably one of the most talented but worst fitness. What can I do? So on Monday, okay, so you don't really have, no problem, Alfie. So you don't really have any time to get in shape. Okay. Well, right now, the best thing you can do is really boost your confidence as much as you can. Don't worry about the fitness right now. Obviously, if you had more time, I would tell you focus on your fitness and get in shape, but you don't. So one, don't even think about it. Eat as healthy as you can up until the day. And I would do a lot of visualization and mental techniques as well. Obviously, I would do bulk work every single day. Make sure you rest the day before. So you said Monday, right now it's Friday. So on Sunday, make sure you rest and do not, the most I want you to do on Sunday is go for like a light jog. But even if you're out of shape, just give it your best. It's happening either way, so you might as well go in there as confident as possible. Give it your all, give it 100%, and see what happens. And then next time you have a trial, if you get another trial somewhere else, or next time you have something like this, get yourself in shape ahead of time, because it's just going to make things so much easier. Okay, let's see what else we got in here. All right, guys, keep those questions coming. Aaron asks, I was wondering what you think a good CAM play should do. Okay, so I actually have a video called How to Play Attacking Midfielder. I think that's what the video is called. It should be on my main page. Check that out. That'll give you a lot of ideas on how to play this position. Also, check out players who, a good thing to do is watch players that play that position. Like Eden Hazard's played there. Dele Alli, although he's kind of more of a I would classify him more as a CAM, although you could classify him as like a false 9 or like almost like a striker. But take a look at him, take a look at Coutinho, take a look at players that play in that attacking midfield position and watch what they do, but also take a look at that video because it's going to help you out. Oh, good question actually. JSM Lads asks, how do I find the most effective training whoops, your question went away. Okay, how do I find the most physical training exercises and most effective training exercise and physical training with so much info on the internet? It's hard to know what's really going to improve me as a player. That's absolutely a valid point. We get into this thing called information overload, where there's so much information, you have to narrow your focus and find the information that is good. So basically, you need to find like the channels that are good. You need to learn from people they know what they're talking about. Same with programs. So again, my recommendations again are take a look at Become Elite. He has a program. I think he just came out with a new program actually. So there you go. I forget exactly what it's called, but I know he just came out with something new. Train Effective is another good one I'll vouch for. Progressive Soccer I'll vouch for. Another channel you can take a look at is Will John. He has a great channel. I don't know if he has any products, but again, great channel. He's a professional footballer, knows what he's talking about, so take a look at that. But I understand your issue. So what you need to do to kind of combat that is really just narrow, like don't take every single piece of information and call it fact. You need to figure out and find, and just always be on alert. Find where the good information is coming from, because I've struggled with this in the past too, to where now I'm very careful who I listen to. I'm very careful what books I read. I'm very careful about what information, I do a lot more research on certain topics where in the past I wouldn't do as much research. But again, those people, Become Elite, Train Effective, Progressive Soccer, Will John, those are 4 that I can think of. I'm sure there's more, but I would say you can't go wrong with them. Okay, so let's see what else we got. Okay, so Wesley says he plays semi-pro / pro level in Europe. Good job, dude. 18 years old. You normally play center defense or center mid, but now they want me to play CAM or wing. I just don't feel I will evolve in this attacking position. First and foremost, yeah, it sucks to be played out of position, but especially if you're at the semi-pro professional level, sometimes it's just something you have to do. But by showing that you're a versatile, adaptable player, you become more valuable to your coach. So what I would do what I would do is do as much as you can to learn about those positions. And if they're going to put you in those positions, there's no use arguing about it, because there's a reason they're putting you there. So do everything you can to have as big an impact you can in those positions. And you may not know exactly how to play it right now, but you'll learn how to get good at it. You'll learn as you go. And I can understand that it's a bit difficult in the beginning, but you will adapt. But again, your coach will love you for having that versatility. Look at a player like James Milner, for example. He's gone from playing wing to wanting to play center mid to playing left back, but he understands that for the team, he needs to play there, and he plays as best as he can in that position and has actually had a great season there. You never know, maybe you'll end up liking it. Now again, you can always make it clear to your coach that what your preferred position is. That there's no problem with that, but make sure you're willing to play there, because the last thing you want to do is sulk and you be negative and your coach pick up on that and then not play you at all. It's better than being on the bench. I think we can both agree. So do everything you can to be as good as you can in that position. Learn as much as you can about it. Start practicing the things you need to. That's if they do play you there. If they don't, obviously, you don't need to do that. But, just do what you can. Again, having versatility is going to get you more game time. When I was playing club at like 16, 17, I didn't always start as striker. Sometimes I'd play on the wing when certain other players were in form. But it got me on the pitch, and it actually helped improve my game to a certain extent as well. And you're 18, which means you're young, which means you have plenty of other areas of your game that could be developed, meaning this might actually be something that benefits you. I mean, there are plenty of players that played in a certain position, got moved to another position, and then went to like the top of their game and like the top level in that new position. So don't discount it just yet. So let's see what we got right now. All right, guys, so let's see. Let's do a couple more questions, and then I will end this live stream. So give me 1 second here. There we go. All right. And one more second. And boom. Okay, so next is, I want to be a striker in my high school. What should I do for training? And by the way, I never played soccer before. Okay, so I have a playlist on my channel called what's it called? How to Play Striker, like the full guide for strikers. Take a look at that. And then there's a lot of videos in there that will help you with that position. Take a look at that, and I know you'll learn something from that. Nathaniel, same thing for you. Go to the channel. There's a playlist called How to Play Striker. It's like the ultimate guide for strikers. Bunch of videos on different topics for strikers and forward players. So go ahead and take a look at that, and I know that will help you. MLS90 says, do you follow any MLS clubs? I don't follow the MLS religiously, but obviously I'm near Philadelphia, so I'll kind of look up their scores from time to time. But I don't follow it. The league that I follow the most is the Premier League. I'm a Liverpool supporter. But I'll watch it. Like if an MLS game comes on, I'll watch it. It is getting better and better and better. Okay, so let's get one more good question in here, and then I think we will wrap it up. Okay. Keep them coming, guys. Okay, so Patty P, all right, last question. Patty P says, I feel like I don't have much game experience, and I do individual training 5 days a week, 1 game a week, and 1 rest day a week. Should I take a few recreational or individual training days out to play recreational? You don't have to, but honestly, if you're feeling like you want to play in more matches, then go for it. Maybe take count a recreational game day as an individual training, so that you have 4 individual training days a week, 1 recreational game, 1 serious game, and a rest day. That'll completely work. For me, I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's like workouts, training. Friday is like rest, light day. Saturday is usually when I have my games, and then I have another rest day or light things on Sunday. So it's going to be different for everyone, but that's how I do it, and I like that. I have the option of doing recreational on Monday. There's a team I know that does it, but I kind of want to save that for individual. It's all up to you. If you want to play in that, I say go for it. I don't think it's going to hurt you in any way, and if you're going to have fun doing it, I say go for it. Okay, I'll answer this one as well, because it's relevant to what we were doing with the 30-day challenge. So the KK78 asks how to stop a bad habit like watching porn. There you go. All right, we're gonna get into that. So one thing with bad habits is you can't like just remove them. You want to replace them with good habits. So another thing you want to do is have accountability. So for those of you who watched our 30-day challenge video, the one I released yesterday, one of the ways I'm helping myself stick with what I'm doing is I'm having basically a punishment if I fail that I don't want to do. So for whatever the habit is you want to get rid of or add, do this. Announce to someone, a friend, a family member, that for 30 days you're gonna, okay, for you maybe not watch porn. Maybe for someone else it's like, for 30 days I'll do yoga. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter what it is. And then tell them, I'm gonna do this for 30 days, and I'm telling you, and if I don't do it, I will do this. So for me, it's I'm gonna shave my head if I don't follow through, because the reason I've chosen that is because I don't wanna do that, meaning every time I think about doing my bad habit, I'll have that thought on my mind. I'll have to do that if I do that. So make sure you have something like that holds you accountable. Make sure you tell someone so they can hold you accountable. And I found that this is a really good way to help you get rid of bad habits and develop good ones. Because if you just try and do it by yourself, you think you're gonna have the willpower in certain moments to pull through, but sometimes it only takes that one time for it to not work, for you to go back into that habit, okay? So I think that's all we're gonna do for today. Looking at this comment section. So guys, I want to thank you for joining me today. Remember, we do live streams every Friday around 7 p.m. You can follow me on Snapchat at SimplySoccer08. Where I update you on when we're doing live streams. And you can follow me on Instagram at SimplySoccerPro, where you can ask me your questions to be answered in the live streams. This is the questions that we had this week. So I want to thank you. I know someone's head is getting shaved. Hopefully not mine, Patty. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will have another live stream next week. If you haven't gotten the free ebook, go to SimplySoccerPro.com so you can get it. And I'll talk to you soon. Here's the awkward standing up moment. All right, guys. Have a great Friday night.